I mean, snare drum and drumsticks was everything for me when I was 8 years old till about 14. I just wanted to know the rudiments and stick control. But after that, the drum set became more of an expression. I didn't want to just use all the chops that I've read. I wanted to have an organic, homegrown sound. So how do I get there besides listening to records and surrounding myself with other musicians? It's playing new instruments. And the first time I got my bongos, I sat behind my kit, and instead of going, I'm sitting there. It had nothing to do with my feet or rudiments, but I had a really cool rhythm. So how do I take those ideas to the drum kit? And I started playing bongo ideas on a drum set. So I think I was 17 when I got my bongos. From that day on, my drum set playing changed. Not because I would separate bongo and drum set, I would incorporate them together. And I always thought as a drummer, it wasn't always about what you can do with your hands and how fast you can do a double stroke roll. It's really about rhythms and melody, using those rhythms in melodic fashion. When I hear a VW Bug next to me, I hear a rhythm. When I hear bongos, I can hear a rhythm, and I'll take that rhythm into the drum set, and I won't ignore my instinct, which is more African, actually, than Latin. I find when I listen to African music, I can really relate to it even more than Indian or Latin, even though I love that music. But African music really is really kind of simple, four on the floor in a way, but simple, but it really has a bounce to it. So listening to the bongos and let them kind of lead the way rhythmically on my drum set, I opened up my mind and said, okay, don't close your mind to these rhythms. Try to replicate them on a drum set, you know? There's a wonderful African drummer named Babatunde Olatunji. And Babatunde Olatunji's records really took me for a whole nother ride. It was like hearing Gene Krupa for the first time or Buddy Rich for the first time. One of the great records he has is called Drums of Passion. And he would make drums, he was an African drummer, he would make drums out of tree stumps that were 40 feet high, and you have to take a ladder to the top of the drum to actually hit this drum. He'd have like 2 or 3 of those. The rest of them might have been, 6, 8 feet high. A couple 40-foot drums, I'm not kidding. But they're very 4/4 rhythms, and a bunch of women singing together, and shaking stuff. But to me, it's really exciting as a hand drummer to hear all these people really kind of connect together. That's Babatunde Olatunji. There's a great compilation called The Big Bang. It's a 4 CD set with drums from here to Africa, from Africa to Alaska to everywhere, just collection of different rhythms. People playing on water, people playing on, people's tushies, it's just a whole thing of rhythm. And that's very exciting to me as a drummer. After listening to that, I've got all new ideas for my hands. And then there's the great Fela Kuti, who's an African pop artist, who really has a trap kit, but a lot of the rhythms are very percussive, and they trigger ideas for me. And then, of course, the great Zakir Hussain, tabla player. Anything coming out of India with those little tiny rhythms they do with their fingers is pretty exciting too. I'm not quite a tabla player. I have tabla at home, and I can imitate, but I don't know the language. So Babatunde, The Big Bang, and Zakir Hussain.